Hi, I'm Jazzy Gabbard, and you watching Loudmouth presents Off the Top Rope.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got an internationally traveled superstar, Japanese icon, Germany's very own Jazzy Gabbard. Jazzy, how are you, ma'am? It is so nice to have you on our show.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's been a long time that we talked.
Oh, since 2015, it's
Oh,
since we've
wow.
been face to face. Um,
Yeah.
I I do want to ask a question though, just straight off the bat. Do you get a normal night's sleep? Because every time I see you, it's serious, it's the social media, it's posts, it's content all the time. Do you actually get a proper night's sleep?
No, I'm a maniac. Like I'm a night person. Like I love to spend my whole night on the phone and doing social media. And then of course daytime I have all like my meetings and yeah, I do it like this. Like I sleep about 4 hours at night, and
Wow.
then let's say from 3 to 4 I sleep like 1 hour. So that's like so 5 hours every day. So that's okay.
Oh, okay. And you feel that's more than enough for you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, sometimes when I have nothing to do, like when I have like an off day, like that's like once a month or something, then I sleep all day in. Like I have
Okay,
like,
okay.
yeah, I wake up like 6 o'clock and I'm like, ooh, it's so late already.
Okay, I want to give everybody a bit of context just before we go on and talk about your current projects. 2015, when Wrestle Monster, at the very first Wrestle Monster show, you came out to South Africa. How was your experience in South Africa and working on the show?
Oh man, it's a long time ago. But I do remember my flight and everything. It was so funny. So when I arrived at the airport, I had milk in my bag. I had
Mm-hmm.
like protein milk because, back in the days I was like super in shape and I really was watching what I eat and everything. But I knew I'm not allowed. Like when I arrived there, I see like the sign when it says you cannot have milk or meat or something like this.
Yes, yes.
So like, oh my God, I hope they cannot find it because they had a lot of milk there. Um, and then there was like these officers, like you had to stand in line and then like everyone goes and then had to
Yes.
go to our officer. And then she was asking me like weird questions, something like, "Do you have sunglasses?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, like show me." And I'm like, "Okay." So I was like going in my bag watching the sunglasses, but then I noticed that like people walking around, like observing me. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, here are my sunglasses." She's like, "Okay, fine." And then they let me go, and I'm like, they couldn't find the milk. Yes. And then yeah, and then we came to the hotel and it was so beautiful and everyone was so nice to me. And I remember that there was like yeah, like a person, like a one person from the street, and he wanted to ask me something, maybe for money or something. And then I forgot his name. I think Steve is his name, the
Yes,
officer guy.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, he punched this guy so hard. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? And he's like, nobody's going to touch our girls. I'm like, he didn't touch me. He just wanted to ask me something. Like, no, no one is asking you something. That was hilarious because usually, like, I have to defend myself because I'm a
Yes.
big girl. But then he was like, "Arr," and he was like protecting me, and that's so cute.
And then you discovered South African food
Yes,
because at Mark Beale's house, his wife made potato bake, and I
yes.
think you must have had. I know you had more than one helping.
Yes, yeah, it was delicious. Like Mrs. Beale, she is like a extremely good cook, and I absolutely love the food.
Do you do you feel, Jazzy, that you've got some unfinished business? Because the match that you had with Shana was a very, very good match, very competitive. And you came up a little bit short for the ladies championship. Do you feel that you've got unfinished business that, should traveling be allowed, that you'd like to come back to South Africa and get your hands
Oh
on that
yeah,
title?
absolutely. I would love to get that title. So it would be amazing. So hopefully, I mean, I don't know if Shanna has time, but yeah, I would love to have a rematch.
Okay. Right. Let's talk about your current projects, because there's so many things that you are doing
Mm,
currently. So let's talk about serious entertainment first. Okay. Now that is
yeah,
your
it's
pet
it's
project. That is your
Yeah,
pet
it's
project.
called serious sports entertainment. I'm calling it this way because wrestling, the word wrestling, has in my country like a bitterness. Like people ridiculous. They think wrestling is nothing real or wrestling is stupid. So when I actually asked for the venue, I wanted to have like a super special venue, like a really
Yes.
expensive one, an expensive looking one. So I write them an email and I was saying like I want to have like a sports show there, but they can see in my email. My email is like German wrestling, so they can see the word, and they were like saying no. I'm like, please hear me out. And
Sure.
then
Sure.
they loved my idea from my kind of sport.
Hmm.
So I want to take away the wrestling and call it sports entertainment, so the people give it a chance to look
Yes.
at it.
Yes.
And yeah, I want to have like a unique kind of show. The ring will not be in the middle of the venue. It will be on stage, and it will be like a musical. So I will have like dancers and singers, and it's going to
Okay.
be different than what you know usually.
Right. Right. Now that concept, has that concept come up because you were traveling with the band and you were involved with their shows, and you saw that level of
I had the
production?
Yeah, I had the concept since forever, since
Mhm.
I'm young, like since I think 20 years ago. But
Okay.
of course, I never had the money or I never felt ready to do my own show, not having the experience. But of course, going on the tour with the rock star, with Udo Lindenberg, and being a part of this huge production and seeing how much entertainment there was, and also our little wrestling gig we had, it was so much fun. Everyone was dressed up, American and Russian team,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we had like singers and dancers. It was so cool, and everybody loved our little wrestling number we had there. So I thought, okay, we should really bring this to life. And I did some brainstorming with my friends, and yeah, and also here in Germany we have so many different companies and really big like WXW. They're huge, so
Hmm.
competing with them, it makes no sense because they're there for a long time and they have like different kind of connections and a really strong fan base. So I needed to do something different anyway.
Of course. Of course. Now you're somewhat of a European TV darling. You've been on you've been with Monica on I believe it is something similar to Britain's Got Talent. You did
Yes.
a wrestling thing there. You've been on a dating show. There's been other documentaries
Yeah.
and things that you seem to be more comfortable in front of the camera than you are behind the camera. Uh, has that affected how you see yourself and your self-image? Because I know with the
Oh
lockdown
yeah.
and things like that, it's very hard to maintain your image.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I love to be in front of the camera, not just as a fighter, but also as a TV personality. I love TV and I love to entertain the fans and I love to do different kind of things. I can remember one time when I did the MMA stuff,
Hmm.
in training we had to do sparring and I hated sparring so much. It hurts for no reason. Nobody sees you, or if you're winning or losing, nobody will ever see it.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm not like 100%. And then one day my trainer he put me into our tournament, and there was a lot of TV person there, right? And there was
Yeah.
like a lot of cameras, and I was totally different kind of person. I was like really energetic, and I made a really quick win there. And then
Yes.
my trainer said, "What the hell? Why can you not be like this in training?" I'm like, "Well, there's no camera. There's no need for me to be like that."
Yeah.
So yeah, I love TV, and I wish I could have like a reality show or something. Back in the days when I made my way to Japan, I asked German TV if they want to follow me, but unfortunately, as I said before, wrestling is not really big here in Germany, so they weren't interested. But that's like my dream, having my own reality show.
Sure. Okay, you mentioned Japan there, and we're going to segue into your Japanese run, because your Japanese run was really successful, and you were really popular in Japan, and you got to wrestle some of their absolute top talent.
Mhm.
You've mentioned Japan quite a few times, going back and doing some things. I'm going to ask you a controversial question. Well, it's controversial because of the level of talent. If you could choose your dream Japanese match, would it be a rematch against Hikarushita or against Ioshiran?
Well, I personally think that the top Japanese talent is Maiko Satomura. So
Mm-hmm.
I really want to have a match against her.
Okay.
And I do think that Io Shirai is also more on top than Hikaru Shida. Hikaru Shida is really good talent,
Mm.
but not in a Japanese way, if that makes any sense. Like she's
Okay.
really good for American TV and she's like really super entertaining. But I personally think more fitting into the Japanese style and
Mm-hmm.
everything
Mm-hmm.
is Io Shirai because
Okay.
she's like really badass and yeah.
Right. Now, this is going to seem like a strange question, and I ask it of everybody that's been on tour in Japan. Japanese wrestling seems to focus a lot on the pure, so the strong style. Do you think that that style of wrestling contributed to your neck injury?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the one silly bump. Like there's something like you lay in a corner and the opponent is running at you and forces the knees into the corner and
Oh,
into
yes.
you.
Okay. Okay.
And your head is just taking like a big impact. Or for example, Io Shirai gave me few of her drop kicks from behind, like she was on the top rope and drop kicked
Yes.
me from there. I remember one day like I fall down like after the drop kick and I couldn't feel my hands anymore. So I
Oh,
think that was like the start of something. But of course, as a wrestler, you try to ignore these kind of signs, or and then well, it is what it is. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why in Japan the female wrestlers or even the wrestlers altogether have to retire so early. So they start in an early age, like about 8 or 10 years old. They go into wrestling, but then have to retire before they're even 30 because it's just a really difficult and strong style, just
Yeah.
Japanese
Yeah.
wrestling.
Why do they hate necks?
You say what?
Why do they hate the neck? It's
Why
specifically
do
the
they hate
neck.
the neck?
The neck.
Yeah, all these neck bombs, right?
Oh, it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
don't
It's
know.
crazy. Every time I watch Japanese wrestling, and I will love watching New Japan, and I love watching Shimmer and Stardom and all of these promotions. And when these ladies wrestle and they fall on the back, I
Yeah,
cannot, I cringe. I absolutely
yeah,
cringe.
you know what I find a little bit sad, like from a fan perspective, right? I always see like say you get like a really nasty German suplex. They
Mm.
celebrate the person doing the German suplex, like, oh look at them, he throw him on the head or something, and really celebrate the guy who's doing the move. They
Yes.
should celebrate the person taking it because he's still alive, you know.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Okay. On Instagram, I
Mm.
believe that you're going to be starting to do Instagram workouts as well.
Yes, that's like my new little thing. First of all, I need myself some inspiration because I gained too much weight. And also because I cannot do any wrestling at the moment, I want to still deliver something to the fans, you know. I cannot post any matches or something.
Yes.
I mean, I cannot go to the gym at the moment because we all have like a lockdown, but
Mm.
I try to do something from home, or, when I'm on the streets, like doing jogging or something. Yeah, I try to deliver some content. I don't know. I try
Okay.
not to be boring, but yeah, let's
Yes.
see where this journey goes.
Of course, of course. Now, you mentioned on another podcast that you wanted to go to America and win a title there. Do you think that winning a title there would actually validate your career, or are you happy with the body of work that you've put into your professional wrestling career right now?
It's a really good question. And it's also a difficult one. When I started my whole journey, first of all, there weren't so much female wrestlers and we weren't that appreciated. So I
Yes.
think these days it's so much more easier to be a female wrestler and making actually money. But back in the days, it was real hard struggle. And also we
Mhm.
didn't have so much, social media,
Yes.
like the whole Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter stuff. It happened like the last 5 years or so that it
Mm.
really went through the top. So today it's so much more easy to become, successful in this business. So yeah, sometimes I'm really sad that I'm not really getting noticed for the stuff I did, like winning the Japanese title, for example. It was a big deal, but barely anyone cares. So it's a little bit frustrating, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
maybe I should have gone instead of Japan. I should have picked, America. But I guess it is what it is, what I had. And I was so sad. Like I did the whole NXT, like the Mae Young Classic, and the fans really loved me. And then I go to NXT, but they just put me to the NXT UK, so I couldn't really showcase who I am and everything because there was just too much politics involved. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, I'm a little bit sad how everything went, but it is what it is, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, I
The
didn't.
people who like me will remember me, and the people who don't, well, it is.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to mention the WWE stuff because it is, as you mentioned, it's a very painful part of the process, and you'd rather put that aside. So
Yes.
instead of asking about that, okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions
Hmm.
about some of the talent that is out there. Okay, and I just want your straight answer, one word.
Hmm.
If you can, if you want to explain why you said it, you're more than welcome to do so. But
Okay.
I'm just gonna put the names out there, and then you're more than
Okay.
welcome to answer. Okay.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be ladies, obviously. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with Sasha Banks,
Oh, I love her. Doing great job.
Charlotte Flair,
Amazing talent, and she needs to work hard for her name, like that she's going to be appreciated for the person who she is and not the daughter she is. But I think she's doing a great job.
Taya Valkyrie,
I love her. I really want to wrestle her somehow, somewhere down the road. I love the look she has, and I think she's cool.
all right. uh, Billy Kay,
I have not much her on my radar because she's not the kind of wrestler I enjoy watching, but I know
okay,
she's doing really good promos. And yeah, she's also doing a great job, but not my kind of style.
Oscar,
I love her. Man, I was so close to have a match against her when she was still Kana. So
mm.
yeah, and she's strong and mentally and physically. So yeah,
she's
cool girl.
she I remember her watching her match with Minoru Suzuki. She really did take a hiding there. That was
Yeah,
brutal to watch. So she's
yeah,
definitely tough.
absolutely.
Right. Tony Storm.
Yeah, amazing talent. She has a lot of potential. Yeah, I
Okay.
hope she will be successful.
All right. Let's go with some of the legends. Bull Nakano.
Oh man, she was one of the first, like her and Medusa was the first girl I saw live. They came to Germany and yeah, they got me hooked.
Okay. Mickey James.
Love her also, was fortunate enough to meet her. Lovely personality and great in-ring character.
April Hunter.
Oh, the first girl who actually really teach me something. The first girl who was really nice to me. The other always beat me up before, but this girl, April Hunter, she took the time to teach me, and she took the time. I mean, let's be honest, Queens of Chaos, what we did back in the day in France, it was really bad. Like, please don't watch the matches. But I had like a Ironman match with her. I think we did like a 30-minute match.
Yeah.
I was nervous as hell, but she took all the pressure off me, and she was, I love you.
Right. The last lady wrestler I'm going to mention. I want your honest opinion about her.
Uh-oh.
Jazzy Gabbard.
Oh, she's a cool girl, man. She came a long way, like from a gimmick Jazzy to alpha female, dude. She's a tough girl.
All right, Jazzy. There's last two questions. One, if
Yeah.
you were not a professional wrestler, what would
Mhm.
you have become?
That's a good question. I always say wrestling saved my life because I didn't had a good start in this life, and I was really messed up when I was a teenager. So I don't know, maybe I wouldn't be alive anymore. But the jobs I did next to wrestling, the one I loved the most was being a security officer. So
Mhm.
maybe I would have like a really high position in security. So I don't
Right.
know, because I really
Okay.
enjoy this kind of work. But honestly, I think I wouldn't be here anymore if wrestling wasn't there.
Okay. Now, the last question with serious entertainment, you're
Mhm.
currently doing a promo battle.
Yes.
Now, if you guys go onto Instagram, you're more than welcome to check it out. All the information is there. You go to JB's, beg your pardon, you go to Jazzy's Instagram page. It's a lot to get through, and you can check this out. Jazzy, in your opinion, what makes the best promo?
All right. Authenticity. Like, don't play that you are a wrestler, but that's like in general. Like,
Right.
do not be a wrestler just on the weekends. Like be a wrestler full time. Like when you wake up, be a wrestler. Have the mindset of a wrestler. Do not play it. And I think that was my success because I always was the alpha female. Like
Yes.
wherever I went, I made sure that they know that I am a wrestler and I'm not a saleswoman. I'm not this or that. I am a wrestler still today. So that, of course, being creative. But I also think, as you see right now, the lightning, and professional cameras, like these days, it's not so expensive anymore.
Right.
And just, have a good lighting, have a good personality, and whatever, if you heel or a baby face. And yeah, I mean, John Bad Bones Klinger, for example, he has his unique gimmick, and he surprises people by not fitting into a box. Like, for
Yes.
example, in his first promo, he started to sing, then in the other promo, he was like a different character, he was serious, and then the
Yes.
other one,
Yes.
he was not so, like, he was more funny. So I think it's important, to entertain the fans with not being a box. Like, if you look at someone and he's always the same, he will bore you, but if he or she will like surprise you from time to time, that makes you interesting, and that's how you in my tournament can win, and be the promo star. But it's in German. I know some people hate me for it, and even like my wrestlers always complain. They say, come on, it's so hard to cut promos in German. But I want to make a difference. I'm a German and I have a German company, so I want my wrestlers. Most of the wrestlers speak German. Of
Yes.
course, I will have fly-ins from America, also from Japan, but I want at least 80% of my company to be German,
Right.
just because, I want to support my boys and girls, and we have so much great talent, and I think we're not getting enough chances. I mean, look at me. It took me 20 years to finally, be invited to freaking WWE to show what I can do. And I nailed it in the freaking Mae Young Classic. I mean, I got standing ovation. So I can't be that bad. So, but it's a shame that it took so long, you know. So, and I want to put my wrestlers, the girls and boys, you know, in a big spotlight, and I want to give them everything they deserve because they work so hard.
Right, right. Jazzy, for the viewers on Loudmouth Presents Off the Top Rope, please give us all your handles for Instagram, Facebook, where people can find you. And yes, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you for listening to this one and thank you for having me. If you go to my Instagram, Jazzy Garbert, I have in the bio like a link. It's from Linktree. And then you can find everything, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, you know. And if you have any questions or something, please hit me up. Like, don't be scared to writing me. So yeah, you're more than welcome.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Loudmouth Presents Off the Top Rope with my very special guest, such a beautiful, beautiful lady outside and in, Jazzy Gabbard. I love you very much. Thank you very much for being
Thank
on
you
the show.
so much.